All right, Geminis, welcome to your weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is going to be for January 4th through the 10th of 2016. My name is Athen, and this is for Sidereal Astrology. If you are new to this type of astrology, do check the description down below. All right, Gemini, so another one of those weeks where there's a lot going on astrologically. It's kind of a mixed energy, as it usually is, with a lot of aspects, but quite important. It looks quite profound. We've got Mercury going retrograde on Tuesday, which is your ruler. Usually with your ruler going retrograde, it's always that more reflective time for you personally to go within and just reflect on your life in general. Then later in the week, Jupiter goes retrograde, and then we have a new moon on Saturday. And with all these aspects, as you can see, there's a lot going on. So I'm going to go ahead and break this down one by one. If you have any questions, do comment down below. But here, starting on Tuesday, your ruler slowing down, going retrograde. So this is specifically with maybe more of the focus that's been on relationships lately, with your ruler in that 7th and the sun here as well. This is also going to be the new beginning with this area, with one-on-one connections. So it's a good time to reflect on it, to pause, think about your goals, your ambitions, who you are, how your life's unfolding, and maybe even home and family things, because Mercury, along with being your first house ruler, your ruler, is also your home and family ruler, maybe even reflecting on your health as well. So over the next few weeks, a good time to redo those particular areas. But it's all in the area of how you interrelate, your one-on-one connections, maybe business dealings or legal matters. So a good time to have that reflection there in particular. So with that, Mercury has been squaring up to your Mars, so it's been requiring a lot of patience for you Geminis this past week with this aspect. Now this aspect is finishing up this early part of the week, so but I think especially around this pausing on Tuesday, really having that patience, maybe specifically with whatever you're really direct on and working on, with home, with family, maybe with your health in some sense, that kind of stuff. Take it nice and slow, grounded, because with the square up to your ruler Mercury, it does tend to kind of pull on that a little bit. It could also be in terms of your routine, as well as anything you're working on a group level as well, since Mars rules both your 6th and your 11th. But it can be very constructive. It is a good time for you actually to work constructively on things, and you can find that motivation in that slow and steady way. So also on Tuesday, Venus is going to be squaring up to Neptune. So with this, and this is specifically involving your self-expression, specifically involving your routine, and maybe even your alone time, is to watch any ideals with any of those things. Watch any ideals with the routine or with the work, maybe with your self-expression, creativity, that alone time. Keep everything nice and grounded with that, because Venus is going to be going over Saturn later in the week. And with a square up to Neptune, sometimes we do have the fantasies, which are a good thing. We do need that imagination. And this could be the imagination of what's possible in life with Neptune in that 9th. All right, and this new moon is going to be in Sagittarius, so there's a lot of this life path sort of theme this week. But for you specifically, where you can have more faith and trust in terms of how things are unfolding. Because the imagination can go either way, but it's usually not real. And that's the whole point of Neptune, is it's more about feeling it and being intuitively guided towards it. So in regards to those areas, I think it's a very good way to work with that, with Neptune, to have that faith and trust and flow. So that's the early part of the week, and then as the week unfolds, the sun starts to go over Pluto and then squares up to Uranus about midweek. So this is going to be very important because it's all part of this new moon as the sun is approaching. Here, new moon will be on Saturday. So with this, it's been perhaps a lot of changes, a lot of transformation, a lot of intensity, maybe with your one-on-one connections, with relationships over the past many years, a lot of releasing. So now it's about seeing that. The sun can really help illuminate that and really change the way you communicate, change the way you see relationships. This week, I think, will be happening naturally because the sun rules your 3rd house, which is usually our own practical insights about things. Okay? But maybe new beginnings as well with those one-on-one connections in that regards, how they can be deep, meaningful. That's all that Pluto energy, where you're stripping away all the attachments so it's pure. And it's that unconditional energy. So with that, though, the sun will be then squaring up to Uranus. So if you're feeling any kind of erratic, impulsive kind of energy, keep it nice and grounded, maybe specifically involving your public life or your career in some sense. There's been a lot of importance of freedom to be had in your career over the past roughly 5 years. Okay, and there has been a big source of that. But with that square up to Pluto, it's been really requiring that patience with relationships, maybe relationships in your career, maybe all, any type of business dealings maybe, but personal life also. And so keep it all nice and grounded, and any insights you do gain, which is certainly possible this week, see how you can bring it into the long term, that patient growth, which is that square energy. But it's really nothing new. This has been a Uranus-Pluto square over the past 3 years, 3 to 40 years. Now, in terms of a little bit later in the week, we do have that Jupiter going retrograde, leading up towards that new moon. So with this, maybe there's been a lot you're learning about the more practical aspects of life, maybe through books, maybe through writing. There's been a lot of expansion with this for about the past, it's been a little over 6 months now, I believe, with Jupiter in Leo. So now Jupiter goes retrograde. It's a good time to now rethink about those communications, those things you're learning, those practical insights, right? Whatever it is with the third house. And it's very positive because now the North Node is going to be shifting into your third house for about the next 2 years. We're going to have a lot of support and a lot of guidance for you to connect to, communicating, sharing. And it could be very expansive this early part of the year with the North Node so close to Jupiter like this, right? So you'll probably start to feel that shift at the end of this week as the North Node gets closer to Jupiter, and Jupiter closer to that North Node. So with the retrograde though, even reflection with relationships. Jupiter rules your 7th house, and also reflection with career or any of that public stuff now for the next, roughly 5 months with this. And it's a good time to redo those areas of life and to learn more about them. Now also here on Friday, the sun will be sextiling up to Chiron. So things regarding communication and things like that could be quite healing. You could be feeling quite rejuvenated with any type of correspondence, communications, how you think about things. And then Friday and Saturday, Venus then goes over that Saturn. Okay, and this is all in your 6th house. So with Saturn in your 6th, it's been important for you to take that routine seriously. The health, the diet, the regimens, the work, developing your crafts. This has been a big emphasis the later part of 2015. But now with Venus, it kind of lifts that up a little bit. It can be a little bit lighthearted in that sense, or at least you're seeing the beauty of it. So you can really enjoy, in fact, the routine, even though there's a lot of hard work here. So see how you can meld the hard work with the enjoyment of that routine, or maybe with your work or what have you, self-improvement. Now Venus does rule your 12th and your 5th, so taking your self-expression seriously this later part of the week, as well as your alone time or spiritual time out, I think is a good way of working with it also. Okay. And then that new moon, like I said, on Saturday in your 7th house of relationships, one-on-one connections. Could be something new with new or existing relationships, but usually our perspective on relationships. And this is all changing anyways because your ruler here, Mercury's retrograde in that 7th. Okay, but it can be very deep. It can be very profound with a conjunction up to Pluto. And again, keeping it all nice and balanced with any new insights, but working on how you can have more freedom with your public life, with your career life, through integrating relationships and that sort of thing. All right, Gemini, so have a great week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys all next time. Take care.